International recording legend Denny Zager of Zager Easy Play Guitars, and writer of In the Year 2525, the biggest one-hit wonder in world recording history, selling over 20 million records.
Taking it easy today. Notice different surroundings. I'm in Las Vegas actually just for a day or so, then I get back to Midwest or wherever. And anyhow, it's nice and warm here and the whole deal, as usual. People say, what are you doing in Las Vegas? Well, let me see. I don't gamble, I don't drink, I don't smoke, don't take drugs. Boy, are you boring. Well, you might call it that, I don't know. I like my music, and I have had a lot of experiences. Speaking of experiences, saw on the news today, or yesterday I guess it was, lost Dave Trupp. You say, who's Dave Trupp? Some of you are very familiar with him. He's probably one of the best drummers I've ever worked with. He did the drumming for In the Year 2525. I took the trip to Odessa, Texas, and so the story goes, we borrowed our $500, and I thought we wasted it at first when I first heard the finished product. And it turned out just about the opposite. You never know about recording. But getting back to what I was talking about, I really feel for Dave's family. It happens to us sooner or later, all of us. Never did meet Dave's family, but I had the pleasure of working with him. And I never got along much with a lot of the members of the group because, as I said, I didn't take drugs, I didn't smoke, didn't drink. Well, they were partiers, and that's just the personality, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just didn't fit very well. But I got along with Dave really quite well, and was really sad to hear the news. I remember Dave. He was, really a technician, very much like I was and still am. I talked with him at length a lot of times when we performed in nightclubs and so forth, and I always asked him a lot of questions. I said, well, how do you get such a driving force behind your drumming? It just pounds that, rhythm in. And he says, well, there's one little thing. He says that I learned right at the beginning. Most drummers play right on the beat, but not him. He comes just a smidgen late. Instead of here, he's right here. The bottom line is, I said, well, what happens there? He says, it puts more drive into it. Such a technician. Naturally, we were very lucky to get him to come into the studio with us. And a lot of the other people worked a lot more than I did with him in the nightclubs. But I, as a person into the recording and so forth, I really looked for a drummer that really had the skill as the technician he was. And I got along with him well, which, me being the way I am, kind of a stick in the mud, but him and I always got along quite well. And so, needless to say, I was really sad to hear the news. He was my same age exactly, 72 years old. And I don't know, the trip to Odessa, Texas was an exciting one. They wrote up a thing on him, a local newspaper, and I, needless to say, read through it, and they got a lot of had a lot of confusion in there. They got the names right, but what really happened, they never really. You didn't find out from that ad. But news is always not correct, and you listen to it. It was kind of sad because they got a lot of things confused in there, and so be it. But anyhow, sad to see that happen, and the world lost a really great drummer. And if you listen to 25, 25, you will hear that driving force. That's part of a good share of what made it a hit. Good share of any group, a rock group, is the drummer behind it. And he was the one to have. Our finished product reflected it. So, in this light, on down the road, best we can do, and condolences to his family and his loved ones. So much for this trip. There will be more videos. Keep listening up. We're glad to have you aboard. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.